Welcome back, Digital Ramblers, for another episode 164, Elevating Smart Homes with Lights, Camera, and Action. What's happening, my good friend Kris?
That's a good intro. Lights, cameras, action, and we're back in our familiar positions. Me in the UK, JJ back home in Houston after 4 days in Denver, which was so memorable. Great show. Great for me to get back to that pilgrimage that all our industry make every year. I hadn't been for 5 years, and it was fantastic to meet up again with JJ's team, and the industry as a whole.
Gamble, it was so good to see you. Thank you for making that trek over here to the States. I know it's a big investment for you, but CEDIA Expo is one of the most impactful expos that our industry has. And we learn so much. There's so much to learn. There's so much to see, and then there's so much to devour, to actually understand once we come back, and some of those manufacturers we're going to talk about today. Again, we're going to re-highlight them, but dive a little bit deeper into why it is crucial to consider these products for part of your project if you're doing a project.
Yeah, so just a little bit of a preview ahead of us going deeper, we're going to talk about Leon loudspeakers and their design-led products, the performance matched with design, and how that sets the reference for everybody else. We're also going to talk about UniFi and their developments with specifically their CCTV and their camera packages, but also how they've showing real signs of embracing the residential and the home tech pro market. And then finally, we're going to touch on lighting and why that is or could be the final jigsaw piece for your integration business.
Absolutely, Gamble. And lighting, talk about lighting. It was almost like every corner I turned, they were incorporating lighting into something. So it's a big topic in our industry, and something that I think a lot of integrators have embraced, but we're going to talk about how we're embracing it even more. So for those that are new to the show, welcome to the Digital Ramble Show. You can check us out at digitalrambleshow.com, where we have 160 plus episodes of everything smart home and beyond. For the sponsors of the show, well, you're looking at them. I'm JJ Cannon, digitaldelight.com. You can find us here in Houston, Texas, where our motto is less is more, less boxes, less wires, more reliability. Anybody in the house should be able to utilize the investment that you've made in technology.
And I'm JJ's co-host, Kris Gamble, over here from the UK, working in London and the southeast of England, providing solutions with Sonos, Lutron, and Ubiquiti, customize.uk.com.
All right, Gamble, jumping right into it. Leon Speakers is just an amazing product. Noah Kaplan up in Michigan has just been making product that customizes tech to go away. Some of these unsightly boxes and side views, and just there's got to be something better. And the guys over at Leon Speakers really try hard to fulfill those needs.
Wall mounting televisions has been probably the service that JJ and I and our teams that could do in our sleep. It's one of those easy tasks where hey, can you just put these TVs up in these rooms? And maybe a big TV might bring some challenges with mounting fixings and positions. So be it. It's not the most difficult day in our diary if we're doing TV wall mounts. However, for me, I always walk away from them with a bit deflated. There's nothing wow about a TV install. Okay, the product might look great, nice bright image, lovely smart TV interface, looks great when you're gaming, but I look down the sides. I look, how close it is to the wall. I look at the cables. For me, a TV install still looks very dull, and that's where design with the people from Leon can bring your TV installations to a totally different level, and they lead with their service of TV framing, bespoke frames for your TV. Explain what a TV frame might be, JJ.
Well, it's quite simple. They make a beautiful frame out of a variety of different materials, different grill colors, and work with designers for whatever space that you're trying to uplift. And they design accordingly. And they have some really cool um, software on their website that helps you visualize exactly what you can expect to accomplish that.
Yeah, so I came back to the UK, and when I was digesting what I saw at the show, I kind of made it a mini mission for September that we're going to elevate our TV installation. So our standard or our first offering should be design led. Our offering below that would still be with maybe some high quality brackets and mounting, and then the third level below that, which I would call the bog standard TV install. But when we do that with the framing with Leon, we're providing that, you know, uniform gap around the TV, clad in the choice of a timber or a metallic finish. Also bringing in the sound bar behind a grill, a bespoke grill to cover, could be Leon speakers, could even be a Sonos sound bar. And for me, that gives me memories of an iconic product they used to do, which was the TC Fit, the tone case for the play bar. And that was like a standard option. And I don't know why, for whatever reason, I've kind of lost sight of that. And that used to be such a cornerstone of our TV installs.
Yeah, I think, we did a tremendous amount of them because they had the Sonos Play Bar. And although it
Mm.
was a fantastic sounding speaker, visually, it needed some assistance. And that's really where Leon speakers came in. And we were using that tone case on a very regular basis. And what's cool about it is that they customize it straight to the same size as whatever that television is. And they've kind of moved on from that, but you still can get a custom width, even the appropriate depth of, let's say, a sound bar that you want to match under a television. So if your TV is only hanging an inch and a half depth off of the wall, guess what? Leon has a speaker that's an inch and a half in depth that sounds fantastic, for your environment.
Yeah, because the other side of Leon is their speakers. And those speakers have progressed even further now to incorporate lighting. We saw the beautiful Mira sound sconce with that lovely glow from the warm white LED lighting around the wall-mounted speaker. So you've got this beautiful light, but incorporating class-leading sound for that single product that's just going to bring, that's going to it's going to drop jaws. People visiting your home are just going to say, "Why have you got such nice things? I wish, I wish I had that."
No doubt. Architects, designers, if y'all are listening, not if, the ones that are listening, check out leonspeakers.com. They make a fantastic product. If you're working with integrators, ask the integrators about this product. It really solves some eyesore issues. So Leon is a fantastic choice for us. So we're trying to put it in every product or proposal that we're providing, just because it adds that element of take. What did you say, Gamble? Takes a muh and adds the wow.
Yeah, again, that deflation I sometimes feel as a pro, I kind of feel like I could have offered more to that TV installation, and with Leon, I can walk away with my head held high, saying, "Look what we did today." I
Yeah,
never think about that with TV installs.
right. Gamble, the other one that I saw over at CEDIA was UniFi. I know that you speak a lot about UniFi, but man, they had a booth this year that was next level. They were really saying, "Hey, welcome, come visit us. We're opening our arms." That's what it felt like.
Yeah, I think I said pre-show they've went from tabletop to top tier. Their booth has gone from kind of in the dark corners of the show to prime time. They were right in the action, and very rightly so. they've got some amazing products to talk about, a very mature platform for their networking, their cameras. We're going to just touch on that in a moment. And they've brought showing off some new things like access control and with their amplifier for as an audio platform. But for me, it was the cameras that caught the attention. They've got some fantastic features built into their cameras, even at very entry level, lots of smart detections, lots of features where you can create motion zones, get custom alerts from different cameras around the property. But where they were always a bit of a kind of closed circle was they didn't talk to other brands. They didn't talk to other cameras. They've now opened up their Protect platform with the 5.0 update to accept all OMVIF cameras, all, new and legacy brands. So that could be your UniFi network video recorder talking to your some older cameras on your properties from like a Hikvision or Dahua or Sony or Axis. You can bring in all those third parties onto that feature-packed platform.
Yeah. And the reason that's so important is because sometimes not one manufacturer fits all the necessity needs for a camera solution. Some manufacturers really specialize in different facets of needs, whether it's motion or different sensor needs. I mean, I know that it's in the same family, but UniFi offers that license plate reader that's just ridiculously cool, straight out of the box.
That's right. That's just a feature you enable. It can read the license plates. It can detect the type of vehicle, SUV, van, coupe. It'll tell you what type of vehicle. Also does person detection, facial recognition, and the difference between parcels and pets.
Yeah.
It's,
And one
so
of our biggest complaints, Gamble, whenever we started this show, and we're slowly seeing the evolution of it, is user friendliness, and camera systems really has been a bugaboo about user friendliness. Like you try to use a traditional legacy app interface, and it's just clunky. UniFi and a couple other manufacturers have figured it out.
yeah, for me, there's some very simple features that our customers love with the UniFi cameras. You know, there's a motion clip, some activity that you want to retain. So very quickly from the app, star that clip. It won't get deleted, first of all. Then just hit the share button. You're straight into your options for do you want to WhatsApp it? Do you want to message it? Do you want to save it to your photos? Do you want to add it to Dropbox, an external cloud storage? That's a basic that customers just love, that they can quickly capture that and it may be something they look at later. And then finally, they've got that option. If they do want to sit with the app for a longer period of time, they can, easily adjust their motion areas. They can create shapes in the garden where they just want motion from, this fence line or this area in the distance. So they can get different alerts from different areas within the camera's views. And they can do it. They don't have to dive into laptops and software. They're doing it from their app.
The clients can do it themselves. That user friendliness, that experience, of, and that's what it's about. Whenever we're providing these solutions, whenever we leave, after we've collected the check, what's important is the experience that we've left with those clients. And not only can whoever made the investment can utilize the system, but everybody in the house should be able to utilize that system, especially when it comes to life safety and things of that nature. You need to be able to access that information quickly.
That's right. And across the board, that's UniFi's distinction. I'm not going to lie. There's a lot of people in our industry that don't have any like for UniFi at all. So this isn't, me just talking about my favorite product. I would I would say to some pros that listen to this podcast, go back and have a look at these platforms. You might have had issues with previous generation devices. You might not feel that there's, the big word in the industry, margin. You don't feel you're going to make enough money. But you've got to think about what are you leaving behind? What's the impact when you've collected that check and walked away? What have you actually left them with? Are they able to even interact with this system that they've spent
Right.
thousands of pounds or dollars on?
Gamble, one of the many things that stood out to me, but was really illuminated to me, was how much lighting is being incorporated in almost all products or is being just incorporated into, the home technology pro realm.
Yeah, we highlighted a blended product where you're starting to see speakers and lights together. That could be indoors and outdoors. Outdoors, we saw that at a couple of recent shows where you see the LED lighting integrated into the speaker bollard. That's become not standard, but it's definitely something you would consider in a landscape lighting and music system. But for me, it was the number of booths that led with lighting, whether that was the big control system, control platforms, they focused on lighting. Then you had giant booths from brands I'd never heard of, taking a lot of footprint at that show to show off, linear LED fixtures, RGBW, red, green, blue, white lighting fixtures, types of control of lighting like DMX, DALI, 0 to 10 volt dimming becoming normal conversation points in that show. And for me, it just emphasized that the responsibility now that the home tech pro has to be educated in the world of lighting. You cannot hide away from it any longer, just like you couldn't hide any longer from networking.
Hmm.
It just you know took over. Lighting is going to be 20, 25, maybe 30% of every project you do. You're going to have to know about it. You're going to have to learn how to talk to these lighting designers, architects, home builders, learn about drivers, learn about extra low voltage lighting, just the same way that you had to learn about networking. I'm sure you remember those days networking, and
Gamble, I
lighting has
just
been the same for you.
25 years ago, I only wanted to install satellite dishes. Now the verticals of opportunity are just amazing, and not opportunity, necessity
Yes.
for our industry are just endless. And yeah, lighting is one of them. Y'all over in the UK, I really admire how y'all use your lighting. Lighting is definitely a palette of inspiration that y'all use and how y'all apply it. For us, we use lighting in a variety of different ways, but whenever I talk about lighting, it's more of in a security manner and just how we're applying lighting in a form of security to where if you need to be aware or if you need to make other people aware of what's happening, we're using lighting control and using sensors and triggers to make properties and spaces safe. And so not only can you use lighting for design, but you can also use lighting for protection. And we're seeing quite a bit of that show itself there at our expos.
Yeah, and I think you're seeing lighting design become part and parcel of projects now, where as well as the architect, as well as the engineers and the construction teams, the lighting designer and interior designers, they are having a huge influence on the homeowner, on the client. That's your client, you're there to look after their technology. You don't want to be left out of these conversations, where you've not put your hand up and said, but we can offer you a lighting control system.
Mhm.
Well, you didn't tell us, Kris. Why didn't you highlight to us that you're familiar with these, with designer lighting, with extra low voltage lighting? Why didn't you? So therefore, it needs to be front and center of your brand as an integration business. As a homeowner, you need to be talking to your lighting designer that you want a smarter way of controlling the lighting, because again, the lighting designer, they might not know about control systems. They might not know the price of it. They might not know the complexity of it. They might not know that it's it's got so much easier with brands like Lutron, for example,
Mhm.
the control side of it, and the programming and the setup. That's all reduced in time because Lutron have simplified um, app control and the keypad control. The programming time is minimal.
Mhm.
So you've just got to put yourself forward as the integrator, but also as the homeowner, you've got to demand that not just there's a lighting design and an electrician and a builder. Well, how the hell am I controlling this? I need a Home Tech Pro in. So you
Mhm.
need to demand that element if you're the main decision maker.
Yeah, and some of the final thoughts on these innovations and the benefits that these allow people to have is design, security, functionality.
Yeah, so again, just to recap, Leon for that action, that big screen action with the beautiful finish where you'll be the envy of your circle of friends that you've got the best looking TV wall mount on the street.
There won't be any denying. As soon as somebody walks in and sees that, they're going to be like, "What is that? Where'd you get that?" And Ubiquiti makes a fantastic camera solution.
I think what Ubiquiti, the way they were looking towards is their platform. They're so proud of their platform, the Protect platform. That interface, the fact you can now bring in third-party cameras, which again, if you want a meh, look at some of these Chinese camera brands. Their interfaces are horrific. They're the worst. I I want to be sick when I see them sometimes. Whereas I look at a nice clean interface like Ring, like Protect from UniFi, customer friendliness.
User friendly, and then lighting control. I think incorporating lighting into your designs is for safety as well as for design is definitely something that should be considered and something you should ask your integrator about whenever you're making these types of decisions.
Yeah. So as always, thank you again to our listeners, our subscribers. I want to shout out the best place to watch and listen. For me at the moment, it's Spotify. I'm hearing from our audience that they're watching the show, then they're listening for a bit in the car or the truck, and then they're finishing off, watching the video. So you've got that two-pronged way of watching and listening via Spotify.
Absolutely. And friends, thanks again for tuning in. JJ Cannon with digitaldelight.com. If you're needing some solutions, come check us out. Love to help you out.
And I've been JJ's co-host, Kris Gamble from Customized in the UK. That's customized.uk.com.
And for those that would like to check out our previous episodes, check us out at digitalrambleshow.com or send us an email at digitalrambleshow@gmail.com. And if you don't know, find yourself a Home Tech Pro.
I lost count of how many people said that to you at the show, JJ.
Did you hear people saying that?
Yeah.
That's good.